Married at First Sight, season 13, episode 5. I do not understand why Rachel wanted to get married because she's not willing to allow her husband to be a husband. Jose wants to provide for her. No, she insists on providing for herself because she's an independent woman. So my thing is, independent woman, why you want to get married? Why not stay single? Because in marriage, you should not be an independent woman. You should be interdependent on each other. I really do believe that one of the huge reasons for divorce is couples don't know their roles. They don't know their role. They don't have no plan on what their roles are supposed to be. I'm just going to get married and just see what happens. And how many of you know that if you don't have a plan for your marriage, you ain't going to go nowhere and the marriage will likely fail? Granted, I am not saying that is the only reason marriage failed. There are lots of reasons why marriage failed, but that is one of the reasons because guess what? You don't know your role. So she's talking to Jose, and I'm going to play through. It was too much for right. And she's talking about the whole brushing of the teeth situation, which I can agree with. Okay, I forgot to tell you, thank you for your love and support with my books. Okay, I can see. She's saying he's feeding her. He wanted to brush the teeth. Yeah, the whole brushing of the teeth thing, honey. Unless he's a kid, I don't be brushing my teeth. But something as simple as a romantic gesture, she is saying, I am not a child. Don't feed me. So Jose feeding Rachel says to her that she is a child. You know, a lot of people have all these childhood issues that they never took care of that end up in your marriage, okay? That affect your marriage, that if you don't work it out, that's what your marriage is about. Give me 1 second. Yes. Yes, Lexi. If you don't work these problems out, it's going to affect your marriage. And you need to be able to read men, okay? A lot of people ask me, how can you say Gil is cheap from a couple of episodes when I said it in episode 1 from the matchmaking session? I say, oh, he's cheap. And so to Rachel, Jose feeding her strawberry at their wedding and wedding cake, says to her, he sees me as a child, not as his wife that he wants to show affection and love to, but he sees me as a child. Something's wrong.
Don't brush my teeth, like.
I agree with the brushing the teeth thing. Unless you're sick, I'm not brushing your teeth, or unless you're a child. Okay, my 6.5-year-old was the last time. Could you brush my teeth for me? Yeah, he's a child. He's a baby. I brush his teeth for him. Okay.
Yes, the little independent side of me comes out.
For me,
and she said, I guess the little independent side of me come out. Stay single. Hello, strong, independent Black woman who don't need a man, but is trying to get you a man. Stay single. Because in marriage, there is no independence. You're interdependence. The church is not independent from Christ. The church is because of Christ.
Like we said vows. And so in that, I said that I wanted to be your provider.
And so Jose saying on our marriage day, we took vows And in my vows, I said I wanted to provide for you. Okay. So here you have a husband is saying to his wife, I want to provide for you, but she's still waving the independent flag. No, I don't want you to provide for me. I want to provide for myself. Why did you get married? Why? What's the purpose of you getting married? I just want to know.
I mean, and as your husband, I want to make sure you're taking care of him. So for me, that's just a way of showing you that I want to take care of you.
And so she said, as a husband, I want to take care of you. He works for NASA, right? Jose, boy, is probably loaded. And he says, as a husband, I want to take care of you. And that's how I show you. Exactly. Hello. Husband, love your wives like Christ loved the church. How did Christ love the church? He showed us by dying. On our wedding day, my pastor said to me at the altar, he said in front of the whole church, let him take care of you. Because in marriage counseling, I've been taking care of myself since I was 16 years old. I'm getting married at 35. A lot of women, it's hard to make that adjustment, but it wasn't, because from the time I was 17, 18, I knew I wanted to get married, and I knew I wanted a husband to take care of me. So I chose one that could take care of me. And when I got married, you best believe I am not waving the independent flag. I don't want you to take care of me. Take care of me, baby. I was created to be taken care of. God didn't create Eve to take care of herself. God put Adam in the garden and tested him to be faithful, named the animals, and guard it and keep it before he gave him Eve, because Eve was to be taken care of, provided for, protected, and professed to. Eve was not supposed to do anything other than be comfort to Adam and enjoy all that Adam has created. So all of your Pygmalion, Dustitious, and all these married men taking care of him.
Immediately, I feel conflicted. You think that's a dream come true for you?
And so she says, Rachel says in her voiceover, immediately she feels conflicted, and you would think that's a dream come through. So what are you dreaming about, Rachel? What were you dreaming about? I don't understand why Rachel got married. Because you're saying it would be a dream to marry a man who wants to provide for you and protect you, but you feel conflicted. Why you feel conflicted? Because that's what husbands do. They provide, they protect, they profess. So now you don't want him to do what God created him to do.
Husband to want that, but as someone who truly values her independence.
She said, but as someone who truly values her independence. So why did you get married, Rachel? I'm going to have to change the title up here. I said, why is Rachel insistent providing for herself when Jose want to provide for her? Why you got married, sis? You value independence. You can't be married and be independent. So why did you get married?
I feel a little bit of, well, what's going to be my role in this marriage?
And so she says, I value independence, and I'm feeling a little bit of what's going to be my role in this marriage. So you got married. You want to get married, and you got married, but you don't know the role in marriage. Watch my videos of, I think I said 9 roles of a Christian wife. I think I'm going to put that in a book, okay? What are the roles of a wife? So you're married, you got married, but you don't know what role you're going to play. You sign a contract, but you don't know what you're going to be doing. How many of y'all, when you go for a job, they say we have a job and you sign the contract, you don't know what the job entails. You don't know what you're going to do. There was an issue this week or last week about something we were doing, and our supervisor says, well, actually, that is not in your job description. Something they wanted us to do, and we were discussing it like, what? And our supervisor said to us, well, actually, that is not even in your job description to do. So how many of you ladies want to get married, but you don't know the role you're supposed to play, or you don't know what you're supposed to be doing in marriage? Make it make sense to me.
When I was really young, my dad, he gave me, I think, which was the best advice ever. He goes, if you're ever married and say you're a housewife or something, you never know. One day he can wake up and say, I'm out.
And so Rachel says when she was younger, her dad gave her the best advice ever. And he said, when you get married, and if you are a housewife, if that's what you want to do, I think every woman should decide if that's what she wants to do. Do you want to be a housewife, or do you not want to be a housewife? And if you do, you need to decide. Hold on, Lex. Yeah. So you need to decide if you're going to be a housewife and if or not. And so she's best advice. She says, your husband could wake up one morning and be out and be like, I'm out. I totally agree with that. This is why I tell y'all, wives, have your runaway escape account. I have an escape account. Have an escape account. Do you know how many wives are getting beat and abused, and they don't have any money to get up and run away and go to a hotel and pay for a month because they don't have any money? Every wife, you should have some money coming in. I don't care if you bake cookies and put your face on it. You better have I don't care if it's 25 cents. You need to have some money, because her dad is right. And that's what I tell y'all over here. He could wake up tomorrow morning and be out like, I'm out. Then what you gonna do? What you gonna have left, right?
And I'm left out on the street without an education, without a job, without anything.
And so she said her dad said he's out, and you're left on the street without an education, without a job, anything. I am not of the movement of girls getting married right out of high school, not going to college, not getting a career, not getting a job or whatever. I am not of that movement. I think every woman, especially after what the hell we've been through, should go to school if that's what she wants to do. I think God created all of us with gifts and talents, and you need to find what your gifts or talents are. That's not for school for everybody. I am a writer. I write books. That is my gifts and talent to the body. I am also a teacher. Though I didn't go to school for teaching, I am a Bible teacher. I can teach the Bible. I'm teaching the Bible on my other channel. Study the Bible in 1 year. Be sure to subscribe if you're not. I am an author. I write books. All I think about are my books. I'm thinking right now about the book I need to write. Okay, these are all of my books. So every woman should have time to figure out who they are and what they want and how they want to get there. Go to school if that's what you're calling. You might want to be a nail technician. You might want to do hair. You might want to be a teacher. You might want to be president of the United States. You need time to figure out what are your gifts and talents. I don't think you shouldn't get married and you don't know who you are. Go to school, get your career, travel, enjoy, see different people. This is why when I was young, when they was trying to get me to marry Pookie, Ray Ray, and Tyrone, because I've been different places. I've traveled a little bit. I see how people lived. Okay, I lived in Margate, Florida, where it was nice. Suburban community. I wanted that. That's what I wanted. I didn't want to come live in the hood, people on top of my head, roach apartments. That's not what I want. I wanted where my daddy had us living. And if he wasn't able to give me that when I was dating, guess what I did? I run. I'm too lazy to get up and drop.
So he goes, before you get married, you better make sure you have your career in case that were to ever happen.
And so her dad said, before you get married, have your career. I totally agree. Have a career. Find something to do. Write a book. Sell cookies. Do hair. Okay, look at my hair that I did. I did all this myself. I don't like to do people's hair. You know, but if it push come to shove, I can do some hair and make some money. But thankfully, I don't have to because I have other streams of income coming in. Okay?
You're not out on the street. I've never been in a relationship with someone that's been so attentive and has that provider feeling.
So she says she's never been in a relationship. This is Rachel, who was so attentive and have that provider feeling. So who was you dating, Rachel? Bums, scrubs, dusties, pookies, ray-rays. I was about to say Jose, but girl, my Hispanic friend, Irata girl, we laugh all the time. She said, Mami, Presidente Trump le say Jose Maria, Miguel, I know all of them. It's every time we say Jose and Maria, she said, but President Trump says she know all of them. Okay, so who was Rachel dating all this time? You want to tell me you've never dated a man that was so attentive, Rachel? I make it make sense to me.
It's always like two independent people, and I see myself as a very independent person.
And so she said she would never dated somebody who's so attentive and provider type feeling. It was always two independent people. And here she goes again. I've always seen myself as an independent person. So why did they marry them? Why did you want it to get married? And I think this is a part of being opposite of them matching opposites, because she is very independent type. And he is the provider type, and she wants to pay bills. And he's like, no, I got this.
So it is an adjustment.
As a man, of course, we don't want to take.
And so she said, it's an adjustment. No. If you think on these things, baby, you won't have to adjust. Again, Rachel, I just want to know, why did you want it to get married? Because you don't want your husband to be a husband.
I just hope that she lets me in, and the trade-off is there.
I want you to.
And so, she said, as a husband, bothers her, and hope that she lets him in, and the trade-off is there. So he's willing to make the adjustment to make her comfortable, because she ain't used to no good man job. Okay.
Well, like, you are providing and everything, but I want to put my contribution into this marriage as well.
And she said, it's cool that you're providing, but I want to put my contribution in this marriage as well. Money is the number one reason for divorce. Most people are financially illiterate. 80%, 90% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. So that says you are financially illiterate. And so to Rachel and people who are financially illiterate, all they know is work and spend. That's it. That's as far as their financial education goes. Work, spend it. Work, spend it. There is no thinking of savings, investments, my future, my children, none of that. Because to Rachel, her contribution to the marriage is paying the bills. So what is going to be your contribution to marriage? I laugh at the pygmies, the dust bunnies, and the dusters that come over here when I say my husband pay all the bills. And so there's what you do. You go shopping with all your money? I laugh. Because right there, I can tell they are financially illiterate, where your thinking is, if your husband pays all the bills, then you must be shopping and spending all your money on buying stuff. They don't think Maybe she's saving it. So, wives that are working and your husband wants to provide for you, what do you do with your money? You save it. You say, okay, Papi, you paying all the bills? Okay, you know what? When I make my income, we're going to invest a little bit more money. We're going to save a little bit more money. We're going to save to have 6 months to a year of emergency fund. That means if Jose gets sick or anything, use me and Mike, for example. If Mike gets sick, Mike get laid off, I guess whatever, then we have our savings or emergency funds to fall back on. I told y'all, I left my job March of last year. I didn't go back till September, and they called me to go back because I was going to stay out until October. And we didn't miss a beat. We didn't miss a beat because my husband, my family does not need my income for us to survive. So what do you do with your money? You save it. You say, okay, we need to have 6 months to a year of emergency fund. How many months do we have? You invest a little bit more. You save for your kids' college. You save for, we're going to go on a vacation. Okay, well, let's just use some of this money for vacation. You saved a nest egg for your children. Bible says a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. This is why you are to save. Every generation is to be covered. Technically, Big Michael and I are supposed to be saving for little Michael's children. Well, we're not. We're saving for little Michael. But if we keep this going and Michael save for his children, and perhaps, the Lord will make it possible so we can save for our grandchildren, then every generation is covered and every generation don't have to start over all the way at the bottom. This is why people of color, we're at the bottom of everything. So when you get married, ladies, before you get married, you need to think about your roles for a wife. I'm going to write that book. You need to think about what kind of marriage you want to have with your finances. Watch that live I did this morning. Y'all missed the live. Where was you at? Of this couple, they're married 2 months and already having financial problems. Make it make sense to me. They're having financial problems. How? You're supposed to be reading your wedding cards and still opening your wedding gifts. Why? They don't have a plan. So wise one, don't be afraid when a man says, your husband says, I want to provide for you. When he says that, click, okay, I need to make sure I have my escape money. If he get up tomorrow morning and say, I'm out, that's cool. I got my money. I got my little stash over here. And then you say, okay, well, since you're providing and paying all the bills, I'm going to save my money for us. It's not yours, ladies. He's paying all the bills. When you save, that money's not for you. That money is for both of you. And God forbid the marriage goes south, that money needs to be split 50-50. You give him half, you take half because he was paying the bills all this time. Financial literacy, honey, you need to get it. All right, I have to go. I have to take the kids out. Let me know what you think. What are your thoughts about Rachel? Are you like Rachel? Do you need to renew your mind about marriage? What is your financial outlook? What are your financial goals? What do you want in a marriage? What? It's so much, girl. What are your gifts? Okay, my gifts are writing. Make sure you're supporting my books. My gifts. One of my gifts is also talking. Well, it's actually teaching. Check my books and my t-shirts out on Etsy. That's one of my gifts too. I love you. I have to run. I'll chat with you later. Bye.